Welcome into Titans Today. I'm your host, Brett Alper. Again, you're probably wondering where Tom Downey is. Well, this whole entire week I've been hosting the channel, taking care of everything while he is taking care of things at the Combine. And on today's show, we're going to be talking about just everything that went down at the Combine today. We had QBs speak, Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, and we have the Titans possibly, maybe trading down in a big rant on just the New York Giants today. But we're going to start off by just talking about who spoke this morning, Cam Ward at the Combine, and what he said. I mean, it looks like it's getting more and more evaluations that Cam Ward and the Titans could be a perfect fit. He sees himself as a great fit if he were to be drafted by the Titans at number 1 overall. He kind of called it plug and play, and we'll get into that clip in just a second. But Cam Ward, he's been with the staff a lot more than just seeing him at the Combine. He spent time with them at the Shrine Bowl. He saying now that he knows what this team is about, he sees a big advantage being in Tennessee. And here's what he had to say this morning.
I think I know a decent amount. I was able to watch a couple of their games this past season. A lot of their route concepts are similar stuff that we do. So, if I'm drafted there, I just think it'll be plug and play. We had good interactions. Myself with Coach Callahan, the quarterbacks coach, and also the GM. It's a great staff they put together. They got unbelievable players. So, I just hope, that God puts me, in a good situation.
Now, you got to be hearing that, and you're like, ooh, first pick. I mean, the Titans, they have all the leverage. They get to choose whoever they want to pick. It could be Cam Ward, or we can go into Shedeur Sanders, which we'll talk about in a second. But if you believe that Cam Ward can be a franchise quarterback, you draft him at number 1 without any hesitation whatsoever. You don't go, oh, well, maybe we could see that. No, if you think he is a franchise guy, Abdul Carter is he's not getting surgery, but he's hurt. I know he's probably the best talent in this draft, but you have to go with a quarterback. You cannot go into 2025 with Will Levis as your quarterback. And if you drafted Cam Ward, this would not be a hard transition at all. You heard him. He's kind of like, well, the system we had at Miami with Mario Cristobal, it's kind of similar to what Callahan had in Tennessee. This is not a hard transition. It would be he goes in and he's kind of running the same, so he feels comfortable. It's not going to be you draft a guy and he has to learn everything. He's already he's got the feels, and you'll probably see it right when we get into preseason if you draft him later down the road in August, where he's going to feel like he's been in with this team for a lot longer. So I think it'd be a great pick. Now, he's not going to throw at the Combine tomorrow. Laura Rutledge tweeted this morning saying, spoke with Cam Ward. He's not going to throw. Tape speaks for itself. This is what everybody's doing. If you look at last year's draft, Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, they didn't throw at the Combine. None of them threw at the Combine. That's why in today's day and age, this doesn't mean a absolute thing. You have tape. Now these guys are playing. I know Cam Ward, they didn't make the CFP. He played in half of a bowl game, but he played in 13 games. If you see 13 games on the season, I mean, absolutely, you're going to see all the tape you need. You don't need to see a guy that's not throwing in pads, just tossing it down the field to some random wide receivers. If you look at his stats, I mean, just absolutely incredible. 67 completion percentage, 43 total touchdowns, 43, only 7 interceptions. I mean, this is just by far the best QB candidate. This QB class isn't the greatest. I mean, Tyler Shug is getting absolutely, he's jumping boards, and I don't understand. It's been L's down for me, but let me hear from you. Do you want the Titans to draft Cam Ward? I want the Titans to draft Cam Ward. It's your new franchise guy. Type Y for yes, type N for no. Now the question that everybody's asking, Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders? I like Shedeur Sanders. I just don't think he is that pro-style quarterback, that leader that you're going to get like Cam Ward. There was one that he played in only that first half of the bowl game, and people were like, why did you play? Well, he also practiced with his whole team. He showed that, hey, we're going to win. I don't care if this bowl game doesn't matter. We're going to win. He is a leader. Now, Shedeur Sanders, also somewhat of a leader. He said this morning, and he came out, his diamonds were absolutely dancing, and he wants to change the culture, and he's confident. You could just hear it in his voice how confident he is, and he's telling people right now, if you don't draft me, well, you're going to regret it. And here's what he had to say this morning at the Combine.
That's the plan. If that's not what you're trying to do, don't get me. If you ain't trying to change the franchise or the culture, don't get me. So you should know history repeats itself over and over and over, and I've done it over and over and over, so it should be no question why an NFL franchise should pick me.
I do like the swagger that Shedeur Sanders had in that interview, the backwards hat. I enjoy that. The chains. I wish I could afford a chain like that. I like the confidence, Shedeur, but what I've seen on the field, what I've seen from Colorado, and what I've seen from Miami was their defense is the reason why they didn't make a bowl game or didn't make the college football playoff. That is it. That's the only reason. Cam Ward, by far, he really feels like the better NFL quarterback. I think, especially if you put him with Tennessee, you plop him right in with that new system, he's going to be good. And we've had this talk all around the Chat Sports studios on just Cam versus Shedeur Sanders. And this graphic, we made this graphic, and this is what kind of comparison. Arm talent. You got Cam Ward has an absolute cannon. I mean, he's built. He's gigantic. Decision-making, Shedeur Sanders. Accuracy, Shedeur Sanders. But the playmaking. Shedeur Sanders he's not that most mobile, athletic QB. Cam Ward, he drops back there, and he's nonchalant with it. And I've said it before, said it many times even today, just leadership in general. I'm going Cam Ward. So if I'm the Titans, number 1 overall pick, not taking Abdul Carter, not taking anybody else, not taking Travis Hunter, I'm going Cam Ward for this. And I'm excited. I'm very excited, but I'm going to tell you guys just a couple things before we get into you got to subscribe to the channel. You have to subscribe to the channel. And the bosses, they want to start a Colts channel here. Me personally, I hate Peyton Manning. I can't stand him. I cannot stand the guy. If we get 25 subs on this video, they say they won't do it. So please, guys, I don't want to see indie coverage in the Chat Sports studios whatsoever. Subscribe now to Titans Today, and I'll be glad. I'll be very glad you did. We don't want to see the Colts here. Now, the other option. There's a lot of free agent quarterbacks here. I mean, you could go with Aaron Rodgers. But the Titans could trade down. And Benjamin Albright, he's a Broncos reporter, but obviously you're at the Combine, you hear things. And he said this: would not be surprised to see a trade in the top 5 of this draft to get the number 1. A large trade. A giant one. Titanic, if you will. Now, I'll do my Brian Windhorst impression. What does he mean by that? A giant one, Titanic. Giants, Titans. Here we go. I mean, this would be insane. I mean, you're not dropping down that much, 1 to 3. It would be a big one. I mean, there's only been 2 times in the last, I think, 20 years where a first pick has been traded. It happened a couple years ago where the Panthers sent a haul to the Bears, and it's kind of worked out for him with Caleb Williams, Bryce Young. But Mike Borgonzi, he talked about it at the Combine on the first pick, and he said, anytime you have a number 1 pick, it's going to be a topic of conversation. We've had some phone calls. I'll keep these phone calls to a vest, but we've had some calls. Meaning, well, we are open for business. You call me, you give me a good deal, and sure, you can have the number 1 pick. Why not? You can take it. You give us, like the Bears got back a couple years ago. You get the 9 pick. You get multiple picks. You get DJ Moore. You get everything. You give me a haul, yeah, you got to say yes. Now, before we get into the Giants possibly trading for the 1 pick, I got to tell you about our sponsor of today's video, and we're selling. You can get Titans hoodies for up to 60% off. Now, we're here in Dallas. It's 70 degrees out today. I'm starting to sweat here. It's hot. It's nice. I'm ready to go out and play some golf. But in Nashville, it's still cold. It's still freezing cold at night. And if you're on Broadway and you want to be rocking one of these nice hoodies, you can get them. Chatsports.com/Titans hoodie. It's a good conversation starter. I mean, you could be at Kid Rock. You could be at Jason Aldean's bar. And people are saying, hey, what do you think? Do you think the Titans are going to trade the 1 pick? Do you want to go Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders? You can get them right here down. And if you can't type that out, we'll put the link for you in the comments of today's video. Chatsports.com/Titans hoodie. You get 60% off the hoodies on the website. Now let's go into what Schefter, it was a bomb. And me and Jackson Durham, our social guy, he kind of took a victory lap because I didn't think Matthew Stafford was returning to LA. But Adam Schefter tweeted this: LA's quarterback is back. The Rams and Matthew Stafford reached an agreement today on a restructured deal that keeps him in LA and squashes all trade speculations per sources. Well, there was one team that was very specific on Matthew Stafford. You had Malik Neighbors tweeting every day 9 and then a ram emoji. And Diana Rossini said this: they're now shifting to Aaron Rodgers. I mean, come on, man. Your neighbor, the team that shares a stadium with you, the Jets, just wanted to throw him into the streets and said, I don't want this guy on my team. I get him out of here. They're desperate. I mean, if you're trying to go without Tommy DeVito going into 2025, what is this team? What are the Giants doing? You have to be, everybody is just looking Rodgers out of all people, bridge quarterback. Yeah, we could get the Manning in 2027. No, you got to go now because you don't know what's going to be in 2 years. You do not want Aaron Rodgers on your team. So that brings me to my next point, a potential trade. There's always the possibility to trade up. And you could get a lot from a laughingstock team like the Giants. Here's the trade I came up with. 3rd overall pick this year. A 3rd round pick. If you want, you could try to convince them to give you the 2nd round pick. I think it's around 34, 35, around that spot. And then 2026 2nd round pick. And if not, you flip it. You get the 2025 2nd round pick and 2026 3rd round pick. And 1st overall pick. I would do this in a heartbeat. Like I said earlier, you get a haul, ship it. Ship it absolutely. So I'm going to ask you guys this. Would you make the trade? Because I'm doing it. I want to know, you Titans fans, are you going to make this trade? Type A for accept, type D for decline. The Giants are just, it's just so funny that they're actually doing this. I mean, Aaron Rodgers. Come on, man. Come on. You could go out and try to get Sam Darnold. Aaron Rodgers has proven that he is not a quarterback. And is he really going to take the Giants anywhere? Their offensive line stinks. You have Brian Burns, and that's about it on defense. Like, the Titans could easily just try to fleece this team. But if you do this trade, it is fair. I mean, if you look at the first pick is probably worth about a 2nd round, 3rd round pick for this year and next year. And if you're the Titans, you still could, if you want a quarterback, you could still potentially get a quarterback. We don't know what the Browns are doing. The Browns could go and, if the Giants do trade up and they take Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders, the Browns, they could take Travis Hunter. They could take Abdul Carter, and you're sitting at 3 and still get your quarterback of the future. And if they do take a quarterback, you still get that generational talent in Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter. I'm taking this trade in an absolute heartbeat. You're still getting a prime franchise player if you trade the number 1 overall pick just to go down to 3. Now, if the Raiders call you, you're going to have to take a lot more, and I mean a lot more. But for the Giants' sake, you take that 3rd pick if you get 3 picks, and you have a bright future, honestly. I'm looking forward to it. The draft is coming up on us. We got free agency in just about a week, and I'm really excited for it. Now, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're going to be talking everything Titans, making fun of the Giants, making fun of the Colts, everything. Subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/Titans today. And as always, tighten up.